just going to keep rolling for a minute. I still have to get the Astrodoodle up and running, so please bear with me. Alright, here we go. Just be patient. Got to keep going, so please be patient. So I'm gonna keep going, just so that you know, folks, in case you're watching, or I don't know, I don't think anyone's here right now, but I'm just doing this live because I prefer this format, and I didn't want to get into any trouble with some of the chat stuff, so I disabled the chat. It was frustrating, I know, because I really love hanging out on the chat, but just for now, we have to make do without, if you don't mind. I got to keep finishing out the chart here for today. I'm on here because to me it's important that okay, well, I guess I've got this already. I'm going to keep it really simple, okay? There's a few things that concern me, and it's not really even on the charts today, but I will show you in a minute, and I'll explain why I'm so concerned. Let's have a look here. And I'm going to save it for later.
I'm going to show you something.
Hold on a second, and let me put on my backup. Give me a second, folks. Don't go away, I'll be right there. Let's get to the point here. I don't want to take up your day, folks. This is a live stream, and I turn off the chat because I just want to get to the point. This is the Astrodoodle for today. We have, I'll do a little bit of a close-up. Okay, we have these sort of loose, gentle harmony here between Pluto and Capricorn, Earth energy, and the leftovers of Taurus energy in the high degrees here, but it's actually drifting into Gemini, so it's an out-of-sign trine, so to speak. We got the sextile here, so this is very harmonious. It's adding a degree of, let's say, stability in otherwise highly combustible circumstances. We have the sextile here between Pluto and Neptune, providing again some stability and comfort in the face of so much, I would say, deprivation, disease, lies, betrayal, sickness, depravity across Earth. And Neptune is also in harmony with the moon right now. Okay, again, this little, I don't know if you can even see it. I'm putting it here because it's legitimate, but I'm not giving it as much strength as it had recently. There's a strong harmony here between Saturn and Aquarius and Mars and Aries. They're supportive of each other, and the way I feel it is that people are acting out and expressing themselves very, let's say, actively. I'm not going to use the word violence at this moment because I think human beings have a right to act out very actively. There's some very big things that happened in the United States in the last few days regarding major court decisions that have kind of created huge shockwaves across the United States of America, and is regarding the Constitution and the rights to life and pro-choice, pro-life issues, and also the right to defend and protect ourselves as American citizens. That's the Second Amendment, which is now really enshrined and reinforced again. Hallelujah. As far as I'm concerned, that's fantastic news. So there's something to be celebrated. Of course, there's a lot of people who are terrified of what's just happened in the Supreme Courts. It's creating a lot of extreme instability politically and so on. But again, that's part of the growth process. Now, there's a big fat square here between Jupiter in Aries, hard squaring with the Sun in Cancer. So that makes it feel to me like there's this, like especially related to the United States of America because of the strong Cancerian themes with the United States. Think of 4th of July, Cancer sun sign for the United States. And the Jupiter in Aries energy is hard squaring it. And the way I feel is that it's like, it's almost, to me, it feels like Jupiter in Aries is kind of like almost like extremism when it comes to I'm all about me, my rights are all about me, and I'm right because I know I'm right kind of issues regarding, let's see, what is appropriate for the self, the physical body, like with the stuff that's happening politically. I have the right enshrined in our U.S. Constitution to protect and defend myself using self-defense tools. That is enshrined. It's been extremely heavily attacked for many decades, but the Supreme Court has now re-established and enshrined the Second Amendment again into the U.S. Constitution, that we do firmly, unequivocally have the right to protect and defend ourselves and bear and use arms. Okay, so that's a very like say active. There's a lot of active self-expression right now, and I think it's very much based around the ego. Those who feel that they are in the right because of certain political decisions might be celebrating, but those who feel that they are right, but it's on the other side of the decision, they are outraged, absolutely outraged, like it's an insult to the self. So with the Chiron energy here, again, the good old energy of our sovereign selves is highly volatile. It's like repeated wounding over and over again. It's happening in real time. So we're seeing what happens with humanity when human beings are disrespected or respected, depending on which side of the life you perceive things. But ultimately, here at home, the Cancerian energy, it's all about home and family and stability and what is good for the home and the family. And self-defense is very, very important. And the sovereignty of self, that's where the issue. So there's a lot of disparities happening in American politics right now. There's other huge things happening in American politics that are having ripple waves across the earth, but again, that's normal. What I wanted to go on, I'm not a news channel, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of news that indicates massive upheavals and let's say, self-expression going on right now. It's been building up, especially since January, then February with the war in Central Europe, and then that expanded and it got really disgusting and perverse and ugly, and then a lot of stuff happened like it mushroomed all across the world. But again, the United States is very much in the spotlight because of the United States going through its Pluto return. We are convulsing in kind of a death spiral as we essentially die off in order to be reborn. And this isn't going to happen in a lunar cycle of 28 days or a Jupiter cycle of 12 years or a Saturn cycle. It's happening on a Pluto cycle, which is 250 years. So it's going to take years just for us to get from Pluto over here to Pluto over here. Can you see that? It's just barely a twitch in terms of, the timing of our solar system. But for humanity, this is a huge amount of time. And over this time period, as we go from here where we are right now and where we started in January 2020, when all the action was over here, I don't know if you remember that, but it was right here. Now we're over here, 2.5 years later. And we've still got, a year or two before we get to the cusp again, and Pluto is firmly in Aquarius. But between now and then, Pluto is hovering back and forth over the United States Pluto angle of 27 degrees Capricorn. So this is an incredibly, let's say, volatile part of, it's a part of American history, but because American hegemony goes all across the world, what's happening in the United States into our own internal convulsions is having ramifications all across the earth, and those are met sometimes with very, let's say, highly resistant ramifications of their own, because other populations have a right to live and be themselves, just as we have a right in the United States to express ourselves. So let me get to the point. As you know, I've already pointed out that we need to watch out in early July, the very end of June, and early July. The very end of July, and then early August. Around here, I'm going to keep repeating this. I'll mark it in here. Let's do it with blue, just for thrills. Well, let's just put 1st of August. I hope that shows up as blue. No, it doesn't really show up. Okay, so that's only about 5 or 6 weeks away. Okay, this section here, I'm marking that. And it's going to be extremely volatile when Mars conjoins Uranus. Okay? Here's where we are today. In about 6 weeks, Mars is going to be here, conjoining Uranus around here in the North Node. The Moon will be way gone. Venus and Mercury will be over here. The Sun will be over here, and so on. You've probably noticed the subject of this is now becoming more and more commonplace in the media and the mainstream media, but especially in the alternative media, or let's say the truth-centric type of media where I like to hang out. But it's still permeating all across the world. Every, let's say, alternative news source that I check out, this is on the front and center. Okay? Now, before we get there, we're going to have something extremely volatile. Okay? Just kind of giving you a bit of an advance. And that comes at around, let me see the dates again, where I'm really concerned. It's building up right now, but it's going to become very exact and very acute at around, let me find this exactly, hold on. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, July, Mars, sorry, give me a second, just bear with me. Okay, it's going to happen right at the cusp as we roll over through the birthday of the United States, which is in America, that's the 4th of July. And it just so happens in a few days before the 4th of July and a few days after the 4th of July, we're talking about a window time period where Mars is going to be in a very hard square with Pluto. And this tells me that the subject matter of, I will write it, I don't know where to put it. Well, I'm just going to put it here. This is going to amplify in the United States and across the world. It's because, we are human beings and we are susceptible. I believe that we are susceptible to planetary influences. It's like an invisible gravitational pull. And to me, it's very, very accurate. And that's why I do my astrodoodles, because that's how I make my best efforts to maintain equilibrium so I am not a victim of these energy fields. And instead, I treat them more like energy waves where I can surf them. And like if it's really bad, I can navigate up and around and through or under or over. I don't want to be a victim of any of these gravitational fields. And so this date here is about 6 weeks away from today's video. This date here isn't really much more than a week away. Today's the 25th, but if you check your own ephemeris, around the 30th and the 1st and the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th, all the way up to the 4th of July, this thing here is going to look like this. Okay? I'm just giving you some advance notice, okay? It's very important. It's up to you what you do with this information. You can treat it as the ravings of a nutcase, or you can treat it as very neutral, just raw information from an amateur astrologer who uses exactly the same data as they use at NASA and Starlink, for all their satellites and space missions, okay? So there you go. I just wanted to share that with people. All right, let me go over here. This is just supposed to be short and sweet. I've been trying to get myself to the point where I can do these every day, like 10 minutes or so for an astrodoodle with the highlights for the day and the alerts for so on, like a weather channel. But for whatever reason, life is getting in the way. I'm finding it very, very hard to do that. So please forgive me. My ambitions and abilities to serve seem to be unfolding in a very difficult, slow manner, but I'm going forward anyway. Thank you, everyone, for your awesome support. And thank you for the very, very interesting links and stuff that you've been sending me. Let me go over here a second. If anyone feels that there's something very important that we need to know about on this channel, please get in touch with me here. This is my email, if you can see it. I'll spell it out for you. It's alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. ALITTLEBOOKABOUT. A little book about. Okay, at yahoo.com. Just get in touch and we'll go from there. Sorry about disabling the chat. I felt like I had to do it because I love hanging out in the chat with you guys, but today I felt I just want to put out some information and then you guys can do what you need to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to basically sign out of here really quickly and go enjoy the rest of the day as much as possible.